Hi there, hello, how are you? I hope you're having an absolutely amazing year so far. I am still very much in the honeymoon phase of 2023. I feel renewed. I feel like there are still so many things that can go amazingly well this year, so many goals that I have set in place. Things are starting to look up. I had a little personal loss. It was a rough start to the new year, but my money tree, look at this thing. It was just a stump, but I'm actually growing it, which is making me feel like 2023 could be a prosperous year for me. So I want to take full advantage of this ambitious start to a new year. I feel like we all have these desires to like start fresh, start new, declutter, empty out the chaos in our house, in our mind, and that's what we're going to do today. We are going to declutter 7 different things in your home, but they're going to be quick, they're going to be easy, they're going to hardly make you make any decisions, and they're going to start you off fresh for the new year. But before we can get into today's video, we have a word from today's sponsor, Pantry. This is the Pantry 8-in-1 all-arounder electric gooseneck kettle. With smart temperature controls and a precise pour, your cup of coffee or tea is going to be just as amazing as you are. Fill your kettle with a little or a lot of water, up to a liter. Precisely set your temperature between 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and it will quickly heat up to your exact specification. Monitor your temperature on the digital display and hold that temperature for 100 hours. That's 4 days and 4 hours. That's a whole lot of holding water hot, but it can. I don't know why. I will tell you though that that's a feature that I didn't know that I needed until I had it. Daryl wakes up for work like an hour before me, and by the time I go downstairs, everything is cold or put away, but now everything is still hot. We were really due for an upgrade because the old kettle that we had literally just boiled water. So Daryl would heat up his water in the milk frother to try to get it closer to the temperature that's proper for coffee, but still wasn't the correct temperature. Now that we have the correct kettle for tea and coffee, expect that video to be coming soon. I'm gonna be doing an ultimate coffee bar. I'm so freaking excited about it. I'm gonna deck the heck out of that corner. And this thing looks damn nice in it. Additional features you didn't know you needed in a water kettle include the ability to turn the sound on or off, a child safety lock, a built-in seconds timer for precise pour-overs, and the ability to complete the perfect 90-degree pour. Upgrade your at-home coffee bar with professional level equipment without the professional level price tag with the Pantry Gooseneck Kettle. Check out their line of famous milk frothers to complete the entire look and use code Chrissy10 to save 10% off your entire order. I will have our personalized link and code down below in the description box and in the pinned comment. Big thank you to Pantry for sponsoring today's video. Okay, that's it. Thank you all so dang much for being here for sponsorships. I truly appreciate it. Again, link and code down below. Jumping into today's video, this is not a declutter your entire house, overwhelming, I can't start because this is going to be too hard kind of a decluttering task. This is a hack inside of my own mind where if I can get the ball rolling, the ball will roll a lot easier as we continue down the line of decluttering our entire homes, cleaning and organizing it in 2023. So each of these tasks should take you like maybe 5 to 10 minutes tops. There are no hard decisions to be made. You're going to feel accomplished at the end of it, and you're going to feel like you got a fresh reset button press at the beginning of 2023. So go to wherever you put your bag of bags and grab a handful of bags because we're gonna need those. We're trashing most everything. A little bit donation probably, but most things are just getting trashed, okay? Let's go. Okay, first up, we're moving into the closet. I'm not asking you to get rid of anything that's sentimental, anything that you've been keeping because you just aren't sure of. I just want you to get rid of a couple things that no longer suit you. This bin at the bottom of my closet is probably my best closet tip, my biggest closet hack. Anytime you find anything in your closet that you no longer like, that you no longer wear, that isn't flattering on you, that's stained or has holes or anything in it that you're no longer going to keep and put up back on a hanger or on a shelf, goes straight into this bin, and then when the bin is full, you take it out and you donate it. If you live in a multi-weather climate like me here in Michigan, then go through just the most recent season of clothing so that you can get rid of things that you know that you didn't wear, that you aren't going to wear, and that will free up some space if you need to replace it. For example, at the end of the summer, I realized that I didn't really wear a whole lot of t-shirts, so I got rid of like half of my t-shirts that were in my closet. If you do not have all of those seasons, then maybe you want to do the flipping hanger trick. A lot of people have tried that. I hate how it looks and I don't like how it feels, and it's like a thing that bothers me in my closet, so I refuse to do it. I also don't have so much clothes that it like gets lost in my closet, but that's because I have decluttered it in the past. If you want a much deeper dive into decluttering a closet, I will link the video up here in the cards as well as down below for you. Moving on to shoes, which is incredibly easy for me, but somehow incredibly difficult for my husband. He does this thing where he stages down shoes. Like if something he bought was brand new That's his like going out shoes, going and running errands and looking nice out in public shoes. And then when those no longer serve him, they become work shoes. And then when they're no longer work shoes, they become garage shoes. And then when they're no longer garage shoes, they become yard shoes. And when they're no longer yard shoes, I have to basically beg him to just throw them in the trash. So for his shoes, I take them and I put them in the garage. For my kids, it was really easy. What things were out of season? Sandals, definitely out of season. What things were not their size anymore? Anything that doesn't fit my youngest gets donated. Anything that doesn't fit my oldest ends up getting handed down to my youngest. So they're very easy. For me, I had to be more real with myself when I did my closet declutter because I was hanging on to a lot of high heels and I have not worn high heels in a decade. So even though I thought they were super duper cute, love them, and I remember how much money I spent on these damn shoes, I ended up donating them. Shoes, super duper easy. Anything that's too torn up, damaged, worn out, small, not part of your current wardrobe or style, just get rid of it. Your closet and your shoes are probably the hardest two categories for you to go through. The rest of this is going to be, you're going to be flying through it so fast. This next one is medicine and vitamins. Did you catch Project 52? Are you part of Project 52? Are you playing along? I'm so excited for it. So what we're doing is 52 weeks to declutter, 52 things in our home. And every single week I post a reel or a short here on YouTube, a reel over on Instagram that explains what it is we're decluttering this week, how to, some tips, tricks, any products that I would suggest, stuff like that. And we did the medicine cabinet this week. So mine, it looks so glorious. So for medicine and vitamins, you're basically just checking expiration dates. Remove any empty packages. If something needs to replace, just take note of that. If you're tossing something that you've never used or you've hardly opened, maybe you've taken one pill out of something, don't replace that right away. Because medicine expires, you don't want to pay for it because medicine's expensive too. Dang. I went for like some DayQuil and NyQuil type stuff to replenish my stock. I spent $80 on medicine and I feel like I barely got anything. But don't replace anything that you don't use. Get rid of anything that's expired. It could be dangerous. It could be rendered basically ineffective at that point. And that also includes prescriptions. Prescriptions expire 1 year after the date in which they were filled. That seems so generic, right? So vague. I will leave a link on how to dispose of medications down below in the description box and the pinned comment for you as well. Next up, we are traveling to the kitchen, and this is primarily where we're staying for the rest of this because, again, we're freshening up the home and removing expiration dates. Let's start with the spices because that's kind of easy and I like that. Go into your spice cabinet, literally just look at all of the dates, all of the expiration dates. You're going to pull out anything that's expired. Spices, they don't necessarily go rancid, but they definitely lose their potency and their flavor. So it's not worth keeping just for the sake of keeping. And again, if you're getting rid of something that you've hardly used, just make note not to repurchase that. And if you notice anything that's empty that you do use often, then make note to purchase that and replace it. We keep buying spices that are spicy. We keep thinking that we want to add like this heat element to our food, but we have kids and I'm a wuss. So we never use these spicy seasonings. So I'm going to declutter them because they're expired and hardly used, and I'm not going to replace them. So hopping on over to my fridge, condiments is something that easily gets out of control for us. We will fill up the entire door and then start taking over on the shelves. And that's when I generally have the idea that I need to declutter something because we've acquired too many things that we're clearly not using enough of. So going through again, checking for expiration dates, but also removing anything that we don't use, that we've never used. I feel like condiments is one of those things too, that they're so cheap that you just have this idea when you go out and you see something, you're like, oh, $3 for this flavor. I can add this flavor to so many things. I want it. I desire it. I want to acquire so many of them. I can go out of control in the condiment aisle. Am I alone in this? I don't think I am. Same thing with salad dressings. We eat a salad like twice a month, maybe. Maybe I should be eating more salads, but I will acquire all of the different salad dressings and then I will throw them all in the trash. So now I've made it a rule with myself. I will have 2 salad dressings, one that's creamy and one that's like a vinaigrette. And when I actually use them up, then I can go replace it with something else that's creamy or vinaigrette. Gotta set rules for myself because I go wild in the condiments. All right, next up, the pantry. Yeah, I think you're noticing a pattern here. We're literally just quick decluttering the space. We're pulling out anything that's expired, anything that we didn't use, haven't used, don't plan on using, that's taking up space. And especially in a pantry, how much space is limited. I need to maximize every little bit of this. And right now my pantry is a hot mess. I have no organization in here. I have no rhyme or reason, really. Sometimes I overload shelves too much with canned goods and it breaks the shelf. I really do need a deep organization of the pantry, but I feel like my pantry doesn't fit most pantry aesthetics. Like I don't have the type of pantries that you can just open up and walk into, and then you have all these shelves surrounding you. I literally just have these 2 doors, and then they have these pull-out drawers. They're very ineffective. I can't put anything on these shelves that would be a drawer that I could pull out because the edge of the shelf, dang, I don't know. I feel like I need help with this. If you have ideas, if you've dealt with these rolling shelves before and know how to organize in a pantry, please drop some links or comments down below. I think I'm gonna end up buying the home edit book, going and spending a boatload of money on bins, and then being frustrated with it. Ooh, would you all like an update to past? That's what I'm gonna do it. You don't even need to answer that. I'm going to do a revisiting my organized spaces and see what worked and what didn't, and if I made any changes in a future video. Because I think that that's important. Some of the things that I've done have kind of completely unraveled. A lot of the things that I've done have stayed. It's just the name of the game when you're organizing sometimes. Oh my God, did you see that? It just poked me in the eye. Okay, the last stop is the freezer. We're not doing the refrigerator, no. Refrigerator, the perishables and stuff, it goes so fast that you should probably be doing that more than once a year. You should be doing your freezer more than once a year as well, since most things will last in the freezer at their like optimal temperature, and if they're wrapped properly, they're not opened, and it's not a freezer that you open and shut, often introducing warm air into the cold air environment, and it's kept at 0 degrees at about 6 months. Clearly, this is a space that I need to visit more often, so I have my upstairs freezer, which gets opened and shut very often. This is more of the grab and go type things, and I don't keep very many meats up here because it opens and shuts very often and I don't want it to spoil. So just kind of pulling out the open packaging and the things that are discolored or the texture or just like kind of looks weird, it's undated, I can't recall when I put it in there. Like the shrimp, I don't even know when these went in there, but they don't look like shrimp anymore. But then I also have another deep freezer downstairs because my family, I'm not a hunter, but my dad and my aunts and uncles and stuff, they're all hunters. So it's a very normal thing to have like a whole big deep freezer in your basement. It's a very normal Michigan thing. Actually, I think it's a pretty normal thing for a lot of people because people that have large families, people who are hunters, people who stock up well, people who do a lot of cooking, you might have an extra freezer. Our deep freezer, we try to make sure that we only have the stuff in it that we'll probably be using within the next 6 months. In my deep freezer, there was just a couple packages where air had gotten in, so then ice crystals are forming, so then I know that these sausages weren't any good anymore. But then we also have this refrigerator, and this was purchased for my mom when she was staying at her house. When my kids were younger, she used to work overnights, and we would have to get up early in the morning to go to work. So she would stay over at our house, but she wanted a designated space for all of her food items. And then when we no longer needed her to spend the night and she retired, then the fridge just kind of like, I don't know, it became ours. I shouldn't even admit this, but I have not cleaned out this freezer since she was babysitting our kids 5 years ago. Everything needs to go in the trash. So it went in the trash, but I'm very sad that so much of it went. Okay, so that's it. How does it feel? How do you feel? It was really fast, right? You just set yourself a timer for like 10 minutes for each category and then move on from it. Anything that you're planning on donating is most likely going to be clothing and shoes, in which case, very easy to donate. Like I said, medication disposal will be linked down below. Everything else you decluttered is pretty much trash. Do you feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders? I would say that I'm pretty good at decluttering, and I still ended up with 9 bags to go in the trash and 2 bags to donate. I feel really good knowing that all my food is fresh and all my medicine isn't expired. Those are my 2 biggest things. Now that we have the ball rolling, we have so many more things to do this year, but it's a fresh start. This is a good start, right? Thank you all so damn much for being here. Thank you to Maestri House for sponsoring today's video with a kick-ass kettle and made some awesome tea. The tea is gone now, but it made some awesome tea. I do want to get one of those little pour over things. I didn't realize how amazing that they are, but everybody has been talking about them. I'm gonna try a pour over because I do not like at-home coffee. I think at-home coffee is disgusting, but I love a coffee house coffee, and I guess that's like legit the best way to do it. If you want to follow along with more decluttering, cleaning, organizing things throughout 2023, we are going to put our lives in order. I am so excited for it. And if you want to follow along with Project 52, then make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you get notified anytime I post. It's twice a week. I post reels on Sundays and videos on Wednesday or Thursday. And don't forget, link and code Chrissy10 will be down below. Save 10% off. If you have their milk frother, please tell me about it. I think I need it. It's got a detachable thing. Okay, I'm like obsessing over like my situation where I'm going to have an improved coffee center. Huge shout out to all my patrons for making videos like this possible. To all of you for being here for this type of content. Thank you so much. I love ya. I'll see you next time. Bye.